Karanth is one of the few major theatre personalities of India who shaped the notion of Indianness. You see, that was the time after independence. Karanji became very active around the 70s, and that was the time when we were trying to establish an Indian theatre which is not just a classical Indian theatre but an Indian theatre which is Indian and also contemporary. So the essential problem was to differentiate Indian theatre from the Western theatre, from Western theories, Western style of practice and all that. So Karanji had an immense contribution in this. For example, if you look at the National School of Drama, before Karanji became the director of the National School of Drama, Mr. Alkazi, Ibrahim Alkazi had already shaped it. And he had also done a lot of Indian productions, and he had tried to uh, produce Indian plays, Western plays, specific to India and all that. But what Karanji did was actually go beyond just the theory, and he actually went into the larger countryside. He started looking at Indian theatre as it was practiced in different parts of the country, and then brought it back to Delhi and made the contemporary actors confront some of these styles, some of these lifestyles, and some of these forms, and thereby he tried to build Indianness. He also democratized the National School of Drama. Instead of National School of Drama becoming just a school for a few actors chosen from all over the country, he was the one who started the extension program, and he made the school go to where the theatre is practiced. Karanth was a very enigmatic fellow. He wasn't a conservative person. A lot of his productions were very, very Indian and very, very Hindu looking. But deep down, he was a very modern mind. He was a bohemian, a rebel of sorts. And so all this, it's a very complex mixture of so many things. So when you look at the other important theatre directors who emerged along with Karanji, who are today identified as very, very Indian looking directors, Karanji stands out amongst them. His range of productions and the range of themes he has handled and all that is amazing. But above all, Karanth physically went to India. He actually went to uh, the remotest corners of the country, worked with the people there. And today, if Karanth is anything, he is something because people actually remember him. They have seen him, they have worked with him, they have loved him, they have listened to his tantrums. So it's an amazing thing. I don't think anybody else has actually physically traveled and actually physically trained so many theatre people from all over the country. So Karanji in that sense became the first Indian to actually go and see India the way Gandhiji did it when, for a whole year he just went and travelled and saw the people and worked with the people and understood the people. I think that was his greatest strength. Language was not a barrier to him. People were not a barrier to him. He would mix with them and all that. So he's an amazing personality. He was from the professional theatre, from the company theatre. But in his own heart, he was very, very amateurish. He would identify himself more with Sriranga and Kailasam and Girish Karnad and others than with Gubbi Virana and all that. But Gubbi Virana was his guru. So he had this extremes in him, which he constantly tried to and sometimes succeeded, sometimes did not succeed in bringing these opposites together. I think that was very, very characteristic of Karanji. I had a very, I loved him and also had some problems with him. This was true of both Karanji and Abraham Al-Kazi. I considered both of them as extremely important, extremely creative people, but I had reservations. But the reservations I had with Karanji was trivial. They were basically about his inability to be an organizational person. You know, he could not build institutions. And he had so many opportunities to build institutions. He was heading the National School of Drama, then he headed the Rang Mandal in Bhopal, then he came here and became the head of Rangayana. You see, he would become too ambitious, and then he would disregard the already existing systems of institution building, and so constantly tried to rebuild. As you said, you know, his nomadic notion would not make him build institutions, would not make him build infrastructure and all that, which is what we were very critical of. You know, I was very critical of it. I said, if you are heading National School of Drama, you better head National School of Drama. You do what needs to be done. But this has nothing to do with his creativity. I mean, creativity wise, he was so amazing. You see, he has done a lot of work with me. He is very senior to me, but you know, he did music for some of my productions, and they are remembered even today. I remember in Huttava Badidare, one of my productions, he had done music. We had already had shows, and during the second show, of course, before the show, I had discussed with Karanji that there is a certain lacunae in some scenes around the end of the play. So while the show was on, Karanji comes to me and says, look, I have thought of this song, can we fit it? I said, Karanji will try and fit it next show. No, he said, I'll try and fit it now itself. So he actually got the actors when they had come backstage, made them learn the song while the play was on, and this song was used in that scene, and it worked. And later, of course, it was perfected, and it has become a landmark song. So he had that capacity, amazing creative ability to be on his feet. He was a very flexible person, you know, in creative life, very inflexible in private life, but very flexible in his creative life. See, actually I have this problem with most of our major theatre personalities. In fact, I prefer that they be trained as administrators. I think Indian theatre is suffering very badly because theatre people do not know how to administer our own institutions, and if you bring outsiders, they don't know theatre. So, and this was a serious problem with Karanji. Karanji, you know, for example, would get scared by mediocres. They would come and simply bombard him and terrorize him and get into positions of power. And then he was scared of people who are critical. He was not scared of people who are critical in his creative work. If I went to Karanji and said, look, Karanji, this production of yours was bad, he would actually talk to you without any rancor, without any this thing. But you did the same thing with him as an institutional head, he would, shrink, he would withdraw. So that was the only thing I had a reservation about. He's a large influence. You see, amongst his colleagues, I would say Habib Tanveer, Badal Sarkar, Abraham Al-Kazi and Karant. These are four major personalities in theatre, like four poles, you know, they were so different from each other, and their influence is immense, and they're larger than life because they became some sort of metaphors. So it was not just a question of the actual importance and actual productions and the quality of productions. Karanji has done some brilliant productions, he has done some very bad productions. And then he had this silly notion of doing 3 productions at a time, 4 productions at a time and all that, and it would become a mess. But all those things become insignificant. Even that incident that happened in his life with Vibha, it's amazing that anybody else could not have withstood such an incident. People just forgave Karanji. I have never seen this happen. People completely forgave Karanji, and they did not bother whether it happened or didn't happen. Or it did not matter to them. So Karanji was a metaphor. And metaphors have a tendency to stay. So I think Karanji is going to stay for a long, long time to come, and is going to be an influence.